We're going to roll into a half-interest lot next on the on one of the 2-year-olds, 59K, and he's been hot here lately.
Yeah, you know, this bull, he wants to buck so hard. That's his only downfall, is he wants to buck so hard. He'll turn too close sometimes and cost him being 92 or 3, but he's that kind of calf. He might be the very best 2-year-old I got. And he will be in the gate to the right and kick through it, intensity, the whole deal. And by the world champion futurity bull, Mr. Vaquero, and just not a lot to say about him. He's just the real deal. He's qualified for the $1 million deal, and
probably be a heritage calf as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
that'll all be wrote on there. All the specs will on him.
Yeah, he's top to bottom. He's nominated for everything, and for every futurity that pays something, he'll be in the middle of it. I think he's got as good a shot as anything I got to win the 250, 200, first place.
Yeah.
So that happens here pretty quick. So and he's a big, lanky, good made calf too. I look for him to go on and be a Derby and classic kind of deal as well.
Yeah, rolling to a Semen lot next. 362A Heartbreak Kid, 83A Wild Goose. 2 big, stout, ranked bulls here. And if you want to get it some in your program, this would be a package sure enough to go after, and HD can tell you more.
Oh, for sure. You can look at the pedigrees, and I bred to both these bulls, and the Nutso, we bred him, and you look at the Nutso with Showtime. The Nutso was a half brother to T8, and then the Wild Goose calves are big, stout. These are just kind of. I'm not gonna say you're not gonna make futurity calves out of this Semen package, but you'll damn sure make some big, stout rodeo kind of PBR kind of bulls that can handle some rope and.
Right.
And it's something that I've been doing consciously, is breeding some of these big, stout kind of bulls to a different set of cows, and just so I don't have all my eggs in one basket, you know.
Right.
And these bulls bucked hard, and like I say, they carry some meat, and they're the kind that, you know, futurity game ain't for everybody, and I'm not saying you can't raise one out of these two.
You can breed them to the right one and get whatever you want.
Yeah,
it can go either way. It works on both sides. Sure.
But these bulls here are the kind that, man, you know, if you're going to raise something for the long haul, this is kind of Semen I think I'd go with.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. We're going to turn the page here and go over to the rest of these lots. And next lot's going to be page F03. And we're looking at another full brother to Showtime here. Full brother to Long John here. Yeah. Showtime over 510/4. And HD's already gave you a spiel, but he'll tell you a little bit about the bull and whether or not wing buck him and what's going on there.
Yeah, and I think this bull will still be bucked, and you know, he's a big, stout sucker and got big high horn, big hump. He carries a lot of weight, and but all these full brothers to Long John, every one of them extend their back feet. You're not gonna skip out on any of that. If you're needing that little extension in your calves kick, then this is what you need to go with.
Well, it's like E9 Little Johnny, another full brother.
Right.
And you bred to him, and your calves you got out of him are the same way.
Yeah. They're and you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that extension in their kick, and the turn back deal is gonna be there. That's a no-brainer. But I think they're good property, and I think whoever gets them is gonna be tickled when they buck their calves in a couple of years. They're gonna be happy with what you've done.
Yeah, yeah. And then as far as him, as sound to buck, has he had any injuries? What's your feeling on that?
Yeah, I think he'll be okay to buck. You know, I think he did something at some point, but he seems to be pretty sound right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now whether he'll stay together if you put it on him, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But when we Semen tested him the other day and moving him around, he looked pretty sound.
Yeah.
And I know at one time he did have something going on, but.
And that's the deal.
He looks pretty good now.
We're doing it for breed bulls, and if somebody wants to try to buck them, You know?
Yeah, that's your deal.
Yeah, that's it. Next, we're going to roll into D28, Sure to Show, sired by 53 Surefire over 0167X, Showtime daughter. I'll let HD fill you in on what you got here.
A really good cow that has raised some competitive calves, and this one was no different. And he suffered a little stifle deal, and he moves around pretty dang good, but I wouldn't buck him, I don't think, if you want to keep him moving like he is. But Surefire, a great bull in his day, and a great breeding bull. You put some intensity in your cattle, Surefire's the way to go. And out of a great Showtime daughter, and then you go back, you're doubling up on the backlash on this calf, and this bull's back's this wide. And if you got some leggy kind of cattle that a little frail made, this guy'll get you back where you need to get. You know, he's gonna put some meat on them. And D28 bucked. He was in the gate, turned back and really bucked right in the gate to the left. And sure enough, nice bull. And like I say, you're doubling up on some backlash and Showtime. Like it's all there. And not having a proven producing cow by Surefire. It's a nice breeding bull here.
Yeah. Then we're going to roll into a 2-year-old and 16K, sired by 584C Mistletoes out of 53/D, a fire show over Crossfire Hurricane. We'll let HD fill you in on it.
This is a great calf. Mistletoes was before he sustained an injury his 4-year-old year in the Classic season. He was winning the Classic when he done it. You know, big stout gray bull, and
he went to the Classic Finals as a 3-year-old and won some events as well.
I think we did haul him as a 3-year-old, and and you're gonna be in the same boat with this 16K. With the exception is he's going to be competitive as a 2-year-old. And that's why he's in the sale. We're not necessarily you do with him with whatever you choose, but the option is for this bull. We're specifying to be a futurity calf, and he's got the potential to go on and be a breeding bull, Classic, Derby, whatever suits you, but. Right now, he's in the door to the right and kicks right through it, and I think he's a competitive futurity calf. And, and the breeding deal on the top and bottom, that's for you to play with. But he's a big stout calf, and the possibilities are endless. Actually, you bucked him. I was going to Duncan this weekend.
Yeah,
we bucked him.
I bucked him yesterday, and he's in the gate to the right.
Yeah,
he really cracks and kicks, and he'll go all the way. I mean, you can play with him right now and get it, and then be waiting on time to put a bull rider on him. And he's just like the K8 we talked about earlier. He stands, he handles, he loads. There ain't a flaw in him, and he's going to be ready to go to the show. Another deal breed to him this year. Hauling derbies and classics next year. If you're a rodeo guy, he's ready to go on the truck to the winter rodeos after the first of the year. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, he's a big cat.
Yeah, and then we'll roll into a Semen lot next. Something pretty special that D&H is offering here. It's 5 straws of A6 and 5 straws of 37 Copperhead. And there's a lot of new people in the business that might not know much about either one of them. But if it wasn't for either one of them, you wouldn't be where you are today.
No, that's for sure. You know, we A6 is an Alex Nacarado raised bull, and we bred that years ago, and it damn sure stepped our program up, no doubt. It's the old Barnaby Oscar business, and it's good stuff. And it's old, but it's good.
Right.
It may not be current, but it may be better than some of the stuff that people are breeding with now.
It's a lot better than what some of the people are breeding with now. I wouldn't be afraid to try it.
Yeah, and Copperhead, same deal. It's like I say, he's out of a proven cow, and Copperhead was a cold-blooded red Brimer that
his sire Copperhead was.
Yeah, the sire cold-blooded red Brimer, and this Copperhead was out of the Dam and Backlash and Minnie Junior and a lot of nice bulls.
Very nice females as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, top to bottom, but yeah, the old Copperhead was a cold-blooded Brimer, and anyway, it's a neat deal. And this Semen you talk about, but it's still a straight out cross from what than what a lot of people
What
have today.
pretty much anybody has today.
Yeah.
Even y'all's program going back in with either would be an outcross.
Yeah.
Anybody that stuck to more of the plumber genetics or whatever.
But to get some of that rare drop and that wild, some intensity and some fire back into some of them things, it's with either one of these lots, you're gonna put a little fire back in them. This semen will do that.
Yeah. We're gonna roll in another bull here, page 83G, sired by 32Y Sweet Pros Bruiser, out of the grade 83/C cow, which is a buck autism, back over U83. A lot of pedigree on the bottom here.
Oh, for
not
sure.
to mention bruiser on the top.
The hot rods, and J9 is another one, and she's got I can't think of one off the top of my head that's out of 83C that's not pretty special. And this calf was no exception. He by bruiser, and he would turn in the gate to the left and kick right through it. And that's one thing about this bull, and that's something about most of these bulls in this breeding bull deal is we try to, I'm not going to breed them if they don't top the charts in the categories, and this bull had the intensity, turn, kick, rear, the whole 9 yards, and a big stout yellow bull that was put together right and bucked hard, and he got stifled on the rodeo deal. I don't know if he stuck a leg through something, whatever. All I know is he got back and he's dragging a leg, and that was a year and a half maybe ago, and now he's getting along pretty good.
Yeah.
But you can still see a little gimp in that stifle, but he gets around good. I think he'd breed cows. He wouldn't have no issues.
Yeah. And then that's something else when we were talking about outcrosses a second ago. U83 is a mudslinger daughter. I don't specifically remember what her name is, but I know she's something Raptor 7 or Mataska or something like that.
Yeah, she was.
So she does go back to that outcross stuff, and that U83
California Dreamin'. She
full sister to California Dream that Jerry Nelson hauled the NFR PBR finals.
Yeah.
That U83 was the dam to 03D Ground Assault, Corey Melton's, I believe, 64Y / y'all's, and Wild Goose as well.
Right.
And so, and then Buck 83/C's, sired by Buck Autism, Lollipop sire. I mean, game changer.
Yeah, cow family stacked up there.
Yeah.
Okay, next we got 37C, Utter Brother. He sells Monday, and he's by Magic Maker out of a really good Showtime daughter, 024X, and that cow's hit multiple times. Utter Lover was another one of her calves, but all of them just have been pretty dadgum good, and this Utter Brother was no exception. He had a lot of intensity, a lot of kick, and with a dummy, he was in the door and had a ton of intensity, just a lot of movement with his head, and really had a cool style of bucking. And that's the one thing, that all that stuff's heritable, and he's going to put a lot of rare drop, and he really brought his head from left to right when he would turn and really kick through it. And just a really exciting calf to be around and to watch buck. And he probably win 10, 15,000 somewhere in that neighborhood with the dummy. And he was 90 a couple times, and just sure enough a really nice bull. And I think he'll really breed well, and he should cross over whatever. Showtime on the bottom, and like I say, Magic Maker on top. And one thing to note is he did have an injury in his back. He's going to be, I wouldn't advise trying to buck him again. He gets around good. I hadn't seen him wobble or go down or anything like that in a couple of years. I think he'll get along fine on cows, but wouldn't probably be the best idea to try to buck him again. But he'll make somebody a really nice breeding bull. I think you'll be really happy with him.
All right, we're going to roll in the next one here. F17 Pearl Snap Fever, sired by 1149 Pearl Harbor, out of page 0157X, the Dam to Whisker Biscuit, Fireworks, Alakazam, F19, the sired of American Heritage Champion, 5H, and I'll let HD tell you about F17, what he has to offer.
Yeah, you know, 0157X is a great cow, and you mentioned some of her offspring and what she can do, and her daughters are consistent as well, and that's the main deal when you're picking a breeding bull. I feel like is just the consistency in the cow families, and then you get a straight out cross, Pearl Harbor, just a big 1,800 pound, massive, rare and dropping, big scary bucking sucker.
Right. That bucked with the dummy as well.
All the way through. Yeah,
all the way through.
92 or I think 92.
Yeah, and we didn't see it a lot back then.
There wasn't no 92s.
Right.
And he was worth every point of it. Just,
yes, sir.
I was like, what in the world where'd that thing come from? But just a big, impressive bull, and just like you say, in the 92 with the dummy, and then competitive all the way through.
Yeah.
Derby, Classic, Bull of the Year, contender, the whole way through, all of it.
And that's the deal. Had it not been for Bruiser, Pearl Harbor probably would have. They were going at the same time, him and Long John.
I think Bruiser edged him out 3 years.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm talking about by fraction of a point. Like
right.
He was a big, impressive bull and bucked as hard as anything ever has. And man, you talk about putting some rare and drop and stout. Just he'll put some stuff in your cattle you can't get nowhere but right there through him.
And that's like F17. You know, character traits of him that Pearl Harbor passed on, and his bucking ability.
Exactly. That's the deal. And if you watch, F17 looks like him, bucks like him, but just got a little mix in there, a little different spin on it. But it's I think it's sure liable to work. And you can watch some videos of F17, and the abilities pass through. No doubt that he's got the rare drop and kick. He looks like Pearl Harbor, bucks like him, but out of a proven female on the bottom side. And be a nice deal. And did we touch on the lameness?
Not yet on him.
But yeah, this has just happened about 30 days ago, and he's got a big front leg, and it's probably he might get over it. I really can't say, but it's we tried to sweat it down, but it's got some it's hard, and but he's still lame on it. He's not. I wouldn't call him crippled, but you can see that he's
right. Well, that's the deal. He'll be fine to breed cows. He can cover. Do that.
Yeah, I think he can cover some country. I wouldn't be afraid to put him out on a couple 100 acres. But
and then after you breed to him, could be a possibility to buck him.
Yeah.
Well, buck him.
I tell you what,
it's that's your call.
I've had more crippled bulls get well breeding cows than any other way.
Right.
And it's the cheapest way to get them sound.
Right.
Seems like.
Yeah. Well, and then we'll roll into page 913G next. Last bull of the night. Sire 86Y finger roll out of Surefire daughter back over Wild Child. I'll let HD fill you in on that.
Man, I tell you what, Surefire on the bottom works well, and this 9-3 is a great cow, and she's hit more than once. And finger roll, there's only 2 finger roll sons in the sale period, and man, he done some good. He was a bucker, and he raises a lot of buckers.
Yeah.
And this 913G is put together right and turns back. I sold him in the breeding bull or in the yearling sale as a yearling, and he made the first sale, and which usually means he's pretty automatic. Like he's in the gate and he's done it from the start. So sometimes when you're breeding them things and you're trying to turn them quick, that's something to keep in mind. And
well, and that's the thing on pedigree here. What you're saying about him, finger roll, bucked with the dummy, Surefire, bucked with the dummy, Wild Child. Everybody knows the story on him as well. I mean, they're going to get it right off the rip on what it looks like on paper.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a fad to get them, start them, buck them 2 or 3 times, and move them, and that's
right.
That's something that might be sure enough possibility with this one is, and it's nice. I tell you what, when you got them when they hit right off and
Saves a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of time and
does,
effort.
for sure. And like this calf's got the intensity, and you're going to get that with finger roll. You're going to get them off the ground. You're going to get some intensity, and most of the time they're going to be futurity type.
And as far as sound to buck, lameness, where is he?
He's not sound to buck. I don't know what happened. I sent him to a guy just to get a couple trips on him, and he come back lame. And it looks like a stifle. I don't know what happened, but it's damn sure there. And you can see he's kind of stiff in one back leg, but he moves out good. I don't know that I'd turn him out on 2,000 acres, but now when you get him in a corner, you wouldn't know he's crippled. But usually because you don't have eyes in the back of your head, he's got some heat to him, and he's got some ability to move around. He's pretty athletic still, but I wouldn't say don't turn him out on a big place. He's got a little stifle deal.
Yeah. Well, that's 20 lots for tonight, and then we will roll into the other stuff and get that for you later. And we appreciate it. Be watching the Breeders' Connection on Monday night. Thanks.